We did it. Here we are. We got the new studio set up. I took this very serious, as you can see. So I'm glad to see where everything has kind of gone so far. So everybody, thank you. You're officially joining me for Journey of Spurs episode 3. If you followed this far, let me kind of get into what I've went through so far. So I've recorded this extremely long video, and I was kind of talking on a topic that I'm interested in, but it was like way out of my ballpark on what I'm capable of kind of understanding. So anyway, the video ended up being like 42 minutes. I spent probably a day writing about it, and finally finished the video. And I had an extreme, not extreme. I had a pretty significant audio issue. So for some reason, Windows kind of defaulted my audio back to like my mic. It said my mic was the input and the output. So I had a lot of technical difficulties there. And every time I played this video, it was just like a high-pitched squeal. Just constantly hovering, no volume at all, kind of no volume at all, no audio, you couldn't hear anything. I actually recorded this video 2 other times and had the same problem thinking I fixed it. Thank goodness I reached out to a good friend, my friend Frog. So Frog Fenton, thank you, sir. I really appreciate all your help trying to get me set up on this video. He actually got on my laptop remotely and was trying to help me out. So I ended up figuring it out afterwards, but he was willing to go the extra mile. So shout out to Frog. I really appreciate it, buddy. So we ended up getting on the air, but I didn't end up getting on the air. I ended up submitting it to YouTube, which took about 2 hours to download a 40-minute video. Now, fun fact, if you have a video over 15 minutes and you want to upload it to YouTube, you must verify your account first. If you do not, they will reject your video. So I think it was probably 9 or 10 o'clock. Probably 9 o'clock. I submitted the video to YouTube for them to upload. It took 2 hours. I think it was, or more. I think it was around 11:30. And I was, I was kind of like laying around waiting for this to come on. I was kind of doing some other social media things. Being an asshole on Twitter was probably a part of that, and kind of following other people on Instagram and other things like that, just kind of waiting. And then finally it successfully uploaded. Click here to view your video. I clicked it. It sent me back to my YouTube dashboard, and it said, you never verified your account. Verify your account before we can upload this video. And so I clicked to verify. I went through the process to verify my account. Successfully verified, mind you. They said, okay, now re-upload this video. You can't just reactivate it. You have to completely re-upload it. And after plenty of Google searches and other YouTube videos about this issue, seeing if I could just upload the video, it was yet again unsuccessful. And I after thinking about it for another day or two, which it actually might have just been a day and a half, I really don't want to start this off by talking about stuff that's way out of my wheelhouse, like way above my pay grade to say. I think I have plenty of stuff to talk about as my current level, and I think you guys are more interested in that anyway, and not me trying to act like I'm some sort of intellect or more intelligent than I really am. So that video will not be going up. So we'll just kind of leave that as it is. Now it's telling me to run my 60 FPS video. I had to close out my other program, so that's so you can get kind of like a higher quality of video here. But what I do want to talk about is I've really been embraced in the fact that I actually got this together. This is kind of a big step because I spent a lot of time watching these podcasts and these vlogs of people that just want to get on here and they want to talk to other people, or they have some information that they want to share, or they just want to talk about their daily lives, and people seem fairly interested. So this is something I've really wanted to do for a long time. I definitely spent the last 2 years just watching different podcasts and kind of indulging in what it is, the art form it is. So I'm actually very proud of myself, and I want to encourage everybody. This is 2019 now. If there's something you've always wanted to do, if you need that inspiration, that motivation, just that first step in the right direction, I hope I can give that to you right now, because it was kind of a big move. I actually made a decent sized investment on the equipment I'm using right now to kind of start this podcast. So, but it was worth it in every sense of the word. Chelsea has been extremely supportive, though kind of frustrating with me being up the last few nights and probably the last week working on this stuff day and night. I'm sure that was pretty frustrating, but she's been extremely supportive. So I am, and I'll admit this every day, I'm endlessly lucky to have her in my life. So this has been an extremely positive experience so far. So as for me, starting out 2019, I was all super motivated to get everything together, and it just felt like everything was against me the first day. The gym was closed. All I wanted to do was eat, and I proceeded to do so. So I really got myself back on track for the second day, for January the 2nd. So I guess that'd be yesterday now. I ate pretty good. I'm kind of doing an intermittent fast diet, and I think I'm just going to keep it consistent. I'm not really going to cycle off of it at all. So what I mean by intermittent fast is I'll pretty much stop eating at 7 or 6, around 6, and I won't begin to eat again until noon. I'll have a 6-hour window to kind of eat all my meals, or the meals that I want to eat, get the caloric intake that I currently desire. So that's been pretty good. I've done that the last 2 days now, and I feel a whole lot better than I did on the first. I'm currently weighing in at 295.8. That is too high, in case you were wondering. But I'm very optimistic, and I'm actually kind of proud of myself in that instance too, because I didn't let myself get past 300 over the holidays. So I also encourage everyone to take those uplifting moments as frequently as you can. There's few and far in between in life to really pat yourself on the back, and I think we should just kind of break that stigma and just really encourage yourself as much as you can, as much as possible, and encourage others. It just seems like we're always angry or upset at ourselves when we can't accomplish something, and then we're kind of like a jealous, spiteful type of feeling towards other people that are actually succeeding in their goals. So be supportive to other people. If you know anybody that's struggling right now, they set a New Year's resolution, even if they failed in the past and you think it's just going to be a repeat, keep those thoughts to yourself. Always encourage them, always push them further up the mountain, because we all got a mountain we're climbing, and that's 100% the truth. I don't think anybody watching this video can disagree. So encourage everybody you come across that's trying to better themselves, and try to do a part for yourself to help benefit them also, because you pushing somebody towards their goal is going to do nothing but better your character and make you a better part of society. So I always do that. That being said, so now I'm on I got the podcast going pretty good right now. I got the audio figured out. I got the laptop set up, and I got the camera here. I'm trying to figure out camera angles, trying to see how I want to do, because I'm looking at my laptop here to see what I'm doing, and then I'm focusing on the camera intermittently. That'll kind of get worked out, I'm sure. But in other words, so like I said, the podcast thing is kind of rolling. I'm working on a space to get to have more of a studio setup, because I want to start having guests. And as for guests right now, I've only got 2 kind of sitting on the bench, getting ready to come up. So the first one will be my good friend Rob Scott. Rob is a hilarious dude, and I think everybody who's going to watch this video is going to die laughing. I am going to extremely hype him up. He is definitely one of my best friends that I've ever had in this world. I love him. I love his family. So me and Rob met back in trade school. We both went to HVACR, so heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration. We're both technicians. Rob is very talented. He's very smart, but he is absolutely insane. I mean that in the best way. that you can imagine. He is so funny. His sense of humor is strong. He's confident. So that will be just an excellent podcast. And some of the things we're going to talk about is actually going to be ADHD. Rob has been on Adderall now for quite some time, and he is prescribed, or he has prescribed Adderall. He has been diagnosed, is what I'm trying to say, with adult ADD, and he has been taking this medication for a long time, and he knows that I was new to it, and I'm kind of pushing it away. Not only because of the effectiveness, but because I don't want that routine of taking pills, which I know kind of sounds silly. I take a multivitamin, I take protein, I take fish oils, so I already have a routine of taking pills. But there's something about that pharmaceutical medication that's really off-putting. So I'm just I can't really explain it logically. So I really want to hear Rob's take on it, because he's kind of given me just a brief opinion of you can't leave it untreated. But I really want to talk about it's highly misdiagnosed in our country and in the medical industry in general. So I kind of want to talk about his experiences with ADD and mine, and see how well they coincide. So that's probably the biggest topic I want to discuss with him on this podcast. We'll also discuss family and marriage. Rob is a great family man. He is 100% dedicated to his family. He has 2 beautiful girls, and he has a loving wife, Carrie. It's going to be a very good episode, so I hope you all want to tune into that as well. My next guest will be another Rob. Actually, I'm not just collecting Robs, but they're who's on the board right now. So my next Rob is Robert Bender. He was a buddy of mine back in high school. I call him Bobby Bender, so I hope he's not upset with that. But let me tell you a little bit about Bobby. Bobby was an IT student back in high school. He's very intelligent. He's extremely politically involved. He is kind of a left-leaning libertarian or a social libertarian. He has, which I am a libertarian as well, or I like to identify that to the best of ability, because there's too many faults for me in the two-party system, and just it doesn't jive with my belief, and I'm not much for conforming to whichever one seems the most right. I'm not a lesser of two evils voter. I think there's a lot of integrity to sticking to your guns, and that's kind of what I do politically. So libertarians seem to be fairly decent, decently aligned with what I'm kind of going for. But Bobby's very politically involved. He understands the political climate. He sees faults in the left and right, and when he goes left, he's way left, and when he goes right, he seems fairly far right as well. So it'll be a very interesting topic. Though I'm affiliated libertarian, I'm not by any means very politically literate. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about all the time. I don't know everything you hear. All the media, CNN, I don't know, Fox News, they're always the opposite, and Bobby can kind of touch on that some more. I'm fairly right wing though. I would say I'm libertarian, but I lean more to the right. But see, it's hard to say because there's a lot of social things that I lean toward the left on pretty firmly as well. So, but I would say I'm definitely more conservative libertarian, and he's social libertarian. So it'll be an interesting mix to talk. I'm actually very excited to learn more about what's going on and kind of in the world today. And I think he has a firm grasp on it because he really spends a lot of attention on what's going on. I know he's the one that actually got me first interested in learning a little bit more about politics, at least enough to understand where my beliefs are, when he introduced me to Rand Paul and Ron Paul and kind of what they were going for. So that was a pretty defining moment as far as political ideology for me. So I do appreciate what Bobby's done. So Bobby's up on the board next after Rob Scott. It's going to be 2 great conversations. So I hope you all will look forward to watching those with me. because I think I will be a little less scatterbrained when I'm talking to people about topics instead of just kind of freelancing it. But I actually am extremely comfortable right now on camera and actually talking, and more so than I thought I would be. So I just want to talk a little bit about some books. A book I read recently also, Extreme Ownership. This is by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. They are U.S. Navy SEALs who were deployed to, I think it was Iraq, but I'm not sure. They were overseas during the Battle of Ramadi. They were stationed in Ramadi, and they pretty much went through, for lack of a better words, or maybe the perfect words, it was absolute hell what they went through. They went through a lot of confusion. They lost a lot of, or they lost a couple of SEALs. They experienced a blue on blue matter, I guess, and he kind of defines that as a friendly fire situation due to urban I don't know how you would say that, so urban layout issues, because the urban environment is so it's so complex. You have to have all the buildings marked, know where all your guys are throughout the city. It just turned out absolutely hellish, but he Jocko and Leif, they talk about a lot of the leadership skills that they've applied overseas to handle such intense and such serious scenarios that that absolutely actually very easily the same leadership skills translate to the real world, to the business world, almost perfectly, almost without hitch. It's a very interesting book. I've learned an incredible amount of how to handle certain situations with chain of command, what I should expect out of my chain of command, and what I should expect about people who might be working under me. Maybe one day. Currently, no one does, but maybe one day. It's absolute great book. Jocko's a huge, like Extreme Ownership is actually exactly what it says. It's if you're the leader, then you can't be mad at the people who are under you. You can't be mad at your subordinates. If you're supposed to be in the ultimate control, then you need to take ultimate control, and you need to take ultimate responsibility for everything that happens. Even if there might be a part of you that says it wasn't you, you need to get that out of your head and take extreme ownership of the situation. The book is absolutely phenomenal. Actually, it was so good that just the other day I picked up the prequel to it, is what I call it, but this is the Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko and Leif. This is the next in the series of the Extreme Ownership series here. I will start reading this soon. I just started reading another book recently, and I can't even remember the title of it because I left it somewhere the other day. But it's Here's to Looking at Euclid. It's a book about kind of bettering your understanding of math and your math skills, which is an excellent book. Also, if you're into that kind of thing, it's very special. It's very niche. It's like if you're interested in history and mathematics, or at least getting better at something you're not as good at. Like I was told the Here's a Looking at Euclid, the book would kind of maybe the book has been used to spark interest in mathematics, or get your mind to start understanding the origin of mathematics and the importance of it, and then that is a good basis to develop better math skills off of. So there's that book, and that book is it's very good, but if you're not into it, it'll be extremely dry, and I'm sure of it. So I've read quite a bit of it so far, but I'm actually think I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to start in on the Dichotomy of Leadership, discipline, integrity, taking responsibility, self-awareness. These are topics that I really like to hit on. I like to drive them all the way home. So I buy these type of books all the time. Because there's something to the fact that if you don't invest in bettering yourself, then you shouldn't expect anything out of yourself. I don't think. And I mean that especially for young people. If you think you should be somewhere and you're not currently there, if you think you should have a better job or make more money, you really gotta think of how how much have you truly invested in yourself? How much do you care about your character? How disciplined are you? These things extremely matter. I'm extremely blessed to be in the place I am in life, but I really hold myself to a higher standard, and I'm not. I have no shame in saying that there's no luck to what has happened to me, though I'm blessed. I've put in a lot of work to develop the character I am and the person I am at heart. And it's not easy. It's not easy to try to take complete control of your life and kind of use your own moral compass to I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use, but you use your own moral compass to decide what decisions in your life are the right ones and the wrong ones, and you just keep on trying to make the right ones. That though it sounds easy and common sense, it's by no means easy. Reading isn't fun to me, but reading is important to me. Working out isn't fun anymore. It used to be very fun back when I was in high school, and it's like all I cared about was lifting. But now it's almost a chore, but it's still very important because I understand the benefit you're getting out of it. I understand the discipline it's teaching you. It's teaching you to to really appreciate delayed gratification. It takes time to build the best product you can. It takes time to get your body exactly where you want it. And if you try to rush that process, you're just going to keep falling in the same hole. And there's a lot of things like that. You really, it goes back to like the idea of you reap what you sow. It's like you really got to sow a lot of effort and a lot of fortitude and a lot of, a lot of, to be frankly honest, a lot of suffering. It is to some degree suffering. You have to do a lot of things you don't want to do to be the person you want to be, I think. And that's endlessly important to me. So I read these books. I get up at 4 a.m. every morning, get myself together, head to the gym, working out, done and showered by 6:15. Head to work, head here, and I work on this podcast a little bit and try to get a little better at it. I prioritize my family. I prioritize my relationship. There's chores that I set for myself every day. Dishes, get lunches together, get gym bags together, make the bed, hang up clothes. If there's anything I can get out of this podcast at all, honestly, if I can teach young people to understand that they need to understand discipline, they need to really hold themselves to a higher standard, that they, there's something to life here. There's something that if you do, you know what you should do, and you hear people say it all the time. I mean, these books are extremely valuable, but they kind of give you concepts that should be common, but they're not, because our society doesn't worry about this kind of stuff anymore. They don't care if you make your bed in the morning. But I'll tell you what, if you make your bed in the morning, you've already accomplished one thing that day. You woke up and already accomplished something. There's momentum to that. There's absolutely momentum to accomplishment, to positive attitude. You'll just have an all-around better day if you can do little things like that in the morning. I mean, I'm not saying you do them because they're fun. I mean, if you can get yourself to love them, hey, great, even better. But I dread it. I wake up, I open my eyes, and I said, here goes another morning. I don't want to do this. I get up, I get to the gym, I get done, and I feel incredible every day. Anybody who sees me, they hear me say, good morning, how are you? There's no reason for me to hold a bad attitude at all any day, because I change my whole mindset as soon as I wake up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to accomplish something. I'm going to make this day worth living in the first place. And young people need that wholeheartedly. They need to understand that they're a member of this society, and that their decisions they make matter. They absolutely matter. They're the future of our nation. They're the future of this world. And the more they can make decisions to better themselves and to become more productive in society, the better it is for everybody. And that's just 100% the truth. There's nothing I believe more than that. So that being said, I encourage everybody to read the last two books I just showed you, and there's also one other book I'd like to talk about before I leave. And there's this new book out right now, and it's by somebody who's almost who I'd actually consider an idol to me. His name's David Goggins, and if you haven't heard of David Goggins, you should research David Goggins. You should watch David Goggins on the Joe Rogan Experience on YouTube. That's his podcast, with Joe Rogan is the king of podcasting, in case no one didn't know, or in case anyone didn't know. David Goggins, watch the first one, mainly the first podcast they've done together. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's life-changing. So let me give you a little backstory on David Goggins. David Goggins was a Navy SEAL. Well, let me even back up. David Goggins was, he was a young black kid in Indiana that was living in an extremely prejudiced town, and I can't remember the town. Oh my goodness! But he was a black kid living in an extremely prejudiced town. He had an abusive father, and he had no identity. He had no idea who he was. He always tried to be something he wasn't, and he lived tormented his whole life. So into his early 20s, I think he tried to get in the military, but it didn't work out well. So he went back home. He was working spraying cockroaches for a living. And I can't remember exactly what the defining moment was, but I'm sure you can find out listening to the podcast. But he ended up going to another recruiter, said he wanted to be in Special Forces in the Air Force. They told him he had to lose 70 pounds in 3 months or 80 pounds in 3 months, and he accomplished it. So like 80 pounds in 3 months. So what is that, like 27 pounds a month? Like that's the unthinkable. He went through the Air Force, became a Navy SEAL, went through Hell Week 3 times. He became an Army Ranger. And then after all his military experience, he wanted to push it even further and became an ultra runner. Now his ultra running, let me explain ultra running. Ultra running is anything over a marathon is typically, so it starts out I think around like 32 miles or 30 miles, and it exceeds up to 200 plus mile runs over the course of a couple of days. It's extreme running. It is it's an amazing thing, honestly. It's just the amount of tenacity in these individuals to do such events it's absolutely mind-blowing. So David Goggins became a ultra runner. His experiences in between is what really makes his story. He just came out with a book the other day. It's called You Can't Hurt Me. I just ordered it on Amazon. He has an audio version of it too, where he adds in some dialogue, which if you've ever heard David Goggins talk, it'll blow your mind. It'll motivate you. It'll make you want to go kick your front door down and run a mile right there. He's extremely motivational to me. He really hit home. The first time I ever ran over 10 miles, I was listening to that podcast, and it was so captivating that I absolutely could not stop running. I warrant every bit of my motivation and inspiration that day to David Goggins. So he is definitely an idol of mine. And he's a big believer in sometimes in life you got to go dark. You got to shut off the human side to yourself, and just bear the most tremendous amount of suffering and pain you can, in light of better ending once you get through the other. So he really believes in going through hell to get to that light at the end of the tunnel. David Goggins is phenomenal. I can't stress that enough. So You Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. It should be here at my house about Monday, and I'm hoping I can hurry up and fly through the Dichotomy of Leadership and jump right into that book. I'll come back to Euclid later, but I'm on this big leadership, motivation, discipline thing here lately, and I'm absolutely in love with it. It's like a high all the time every time I read these books. So that's what I got going on right now. Like I said, I got the couple Robs coming in at different times to do podcasts. I'm so thankful for everybody who watches these videos. Truly, this has been kind of like a dream of mine. It's something that people talk about and they say you'll never be able to do it, or you'll never amount to anything from doing this. And I really don't think I care if I ever amount to anything from doing this. I don't think I care if I make money off this, if I get a million people to watch this, or if I get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm trying my best to some degree. Like I'm not fully involved in trying to pick up as many people as I can to watch these videos. I am doing a little bit of marketing as far as just like on my social media accounts to come check out the YouTube. But I think I will be 100% satisfied if I have a group of only a few people that are interested in tuning into this while I do it, because I think I've already kind of fulfilled my dream here, and that's to be able to, or this dream at least. I won't say this isn't my ultimate dream, but I think I fulfilled definitely a goal I've always wanted to do, and that is start this podcast and have an audience to some degree and talk, because life is way too short not to do something you want to do. So I encourage everybody, if there's that one thing that's been in your mind for so long now, and you just either you're discouraged by it, people are discouraging you about it, or there's some kind of other physical or mental block from you getting it. I 100% hope one day you just take that chance. There's a certain, if you read any of these motivational or business books, one consistency is you got to take risks. You got to be willing to be vulnerable. You got to, you got to not let life pass you by. So, and it's not easy by any means. I come on here and I put some information out, and I hope that somebody likes to hear it. I'm willing to be 100% vulnerable. I'm willing to be 100% engaged in whoever wants to come on here. And I'm 100% dedicated, and I'm 100% willing to hear anybody's feedback, and kind of cater to my audience as well. If there's something they want to hear or talk about, that's what we're going to do, no matter what. So I just want to, I think I'll end there. So actually I'll end on just my sincere thought or my sincere comment to this whole situation. That's please follow your dreams. You only get one life. Please follow your dreams. You won't regret it. You will not regret it. Just follow your dreams. So that has been Journey of Spurs episode 3. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's do this again real soon. I'm not sure when I'll have the next video up yet, but please, if you get the chance, if you have a social media account, follow me on Twitter at MarkSpurlock17. Follow me on Instagram. I am as Spurzilla. I am called Spurzilla because I put a lot of, I'm called Spurzilla because I'm a large human. I'm 300 pounds and I'm 6'5". There's not a whole lot of other names you can give somebody with the last name Spurlock. So Spurzilla is on Instagram, but that's in reference to my fitness. You'll see a lot of my fitness documented, at least my daily. I need to try to upload daily of me going to the gym. At least I'd like to submit a timestamp. If you guys, let me revert back, Jocko Willink, if you follow him on Instagram, he takes a picture of his watch every day at 4 o'clock in the morning to work out or to be productive. So I kind of want to do a similar thing to that. I kind of want to let you all know that I'm up and I'm out there, and I want to encourage people on Instagram and Twitter for that matter. So Spurzilla on Instagram, and always follow, always subscribe, always like. I truly appreciate it. So thank you everybody for joining me on Journey of Spurs episode 3. Let's do it again real soon, and hopefully I'll get some guests in here soon too. Appreciate it. Bye.